Okay, I'm just going to talk through second form, looking at second form, what to think about the second form. Chum Kiu, bridging the gap, forming a bridge, all sorts of bridging ideas. I think, again, I was trying to simplify everything. To me, the bridging is understanding that you've got to make the distance up in between you and your opponent. This is where we're really introduced to ideas of how to enter into a fight, and the stages of a fight, the stages of moving in. And to me, this is where the three separate parts concentrate on essentially three aspects of what is involved in a stepping and turning point. So what we're looking at when we're actually talking about this thing, sort of like stepping and driving in with a turning point, this is in essence what Chum Kiu is teaching me. It goes through, it introduces you in the early stages to this trilogy of fighting thought. Find, control, and finish. So what we're looking at is this idea that the first part of any confrontation is finding this, is bridging the gap between you and your opponent, where you can't reach them to a position where you can reach them. So it introduces this in various parts, and that, to me, this is a recurring theme throughout all of Wing Chun, especially in the dummy, but it's also in BUG. Find them, control them, then hit them, and finish them. So it's more, it is this, to me, the first part of it, again, is more dealt with in BUG, and I'll talk about this later. What we're talking about in Chum Kiu is where we're introduced to the Ding cell. The Ding cell is the high Fuchs cell. I think I've mentioned this earlier, but again, we'll talk about it again. Fuchs cell is related to your centre line, the Ding cell is related to your opponent's centre line. Whereas the Fuchs cell is feeling the cover to be defensive, the Ding cell is feeling out, wanting to try to become an attack. So as we're running through, so again, the stance opens the same way, so we're just looking at, again, the structure is still important. So we're looking at, again, precision in the stance, position in the posture, position, everything, again, we're looking at being precise. Once we've opened the same way, again, define centre line and inner gate area, thinking of the shoulder, elbow to the fingertip, hands, everything still as precise as we were, still as concentrating on the details as you were in the first one in Sulam Tao, and this is continued through Chum Kiu. And up and back, centre, open, back, stop, back, slow rotation, close back, deliberate move, all deliberate moves, all deliberate moves, all deliberate moves, all deliberate moves. Now we start off with just relax out, then to the strike. I use BUG. I always tend to use BUG because to me it's a small point. So we're looking at it, it's a small area, but it can be anything. It's just from here. I have seen people who do it is the thumb gouge, is the gouge using the thumb. I've seen it in a variety of different ways. That's not important. To me, what's important is relax out is the Ding cell. So you're going through this sort of like the Wu Sao, Man Sao type stage, and at the end then it's changing into a strike. Like you turn to the left with the left arm on top. Now the next time, this is what I changed. Well, I didn't change it. This is the way that I did. I've carried on what Yip Chun did with when we made the video of the original Wing Chun from about 1985. So you relax out with the Ding Sao and strike out. Then you turn. From here now you do 3 turns. 1, 2, 3. Again, relax out to the Ding cell. Bring the elbows in. Now it's a Jut cell with a Tok cell. 1, 2, 3. And palm sticks. 1, 2, 3. Now from here you turn all the way around to the Lancer. everything square, cancel, turn, out. The elbow comes back to the Lancer, as the elbow comes back to the rest position, turn, relax out, the bounce out for the second time, and back, relax out for the third time, and back. Fist onto the centre line, drop the elbow, punch out. Views out, side, defensive jam serve, clear your centre line. Now what we're doing with this is, again, it's this, what are we looking at? What's new? There's quite a few things that are new, but not that new. We're looking for this idea of the ding cell coming out. Again, so the ding cell is straight. Again, that's not particularly new. It's introduced of the ding cell instead of the foot cell. We're now looking at this high hand. It's almost like, you could almost call it like a man cell, because it's asking, it's just coming out. It's got the intention of coming out as a straight, but it's not straight until the last few inches. So it's just relax over the top and fire it out. You can use this as an understanding, even as a punch, as an outer gate punch. So if you have somebody with a guard up, whether it's a boxer's guard or a normal Wing Chun guard, and what you're doing is you're using the fist to come from the outer gate to the centre line, but firing in. So it's important to actually power over the top of the other person's arm. You can use this way, rather than from the first form when you actually use the punch from the centre line to punch out, to punch up inside somebody's arm. So you've got this idea where you can actually in first form understand a punch where you're punching inside. Now we're talking about punching outside. You can use this as an exercise. I'm just punching onto the outside, punching onto the outside, rather than punching up through the centre line. But this is where we look at the ding cell and out. The turns, the reason what I do the other aspect that I try to envisage what I'm looking at is why we're using a double Lancer. To me, when I'm using the double Lancer, what I'm actually doing is I'm squaring up. I'm giving myself a box shape. And this is what I'm turning. So it's easy for me to understand things where everything is parallel and square. Everything parallel and square. What I'm doing is I'm turning the hips. I'm learning to develop the muscles without turning the hips all the way around. Rotating on the heels, load the heel, and turn the leg. So it's the leg muscles that I'm introducing the knowledge of here. I'm not using anything else. I'm keeping everything else square. I'm not putting any other energy in. I'm isolating the muscles that are doing this, that are doing that. And this is the exercise that I'm taking out of the form. So all it's simply doing is from there, I load the leg, rotate. Load the leg and rotate. Load the leg on the heel and rotate. So the front foot can be lifted. So I shift, turn, and my stance is there that I can lift. I shift, turn, so this can be lifted. This is why in the form I do it this way that we did. So see on the video of the original Wing Chun, it got edited down. So Sifu didn't want he when he wanted to do the three. He when he wanted, this is 1, 2, and 3. But your Chun had done to there, and then 1, 2, and 3, carry on this way. I like this way because what it's doing is it's emphasising the little nicety that Wing Chun does. When something's more than just a technique, when it has a deeper understanding, it's always practiced 3 times. So when things are in threes, it's got something that's a lot more important than just a mere structure or anything. And so to me, what I'm looking at is when we're come up with a ding cell, out, turn. Now I practice 3 turns. 3 full, 180 degree turns. I relax out. And the other thing that we do in Wing Chun, we always do 3 things in threes and left hand first. 1, 2, 3, left hand, 1, 2, 3, and we're into understanding the left hand as a bouncer, and a lancer, the bouncer, a lancer, and a bouncer, and a lancer. So that's why I do that. What some people would say is 4 turns, but I say them as 3 turns. And it allows me to keep on to the tradition of do things 3 times, left hand first. It's not vitally important, it's not going to change your ability to defend yourself in a life-threatening situation, but I like to keep a hold of details as reminders that help us to visualise what am I doing something for, and help me to focus on if I'm doing something 3 times, or as I said earlier about something a lot more than 3 times, then I've got to have a good reason for it. And so this is what, again, in this part of the stance, I know that many people do it slightly different ways, but for me, I'm looking at a development of something new. That's why with the turning here, all I'm doing is understanding, isolating, not using the upper part of my body. I'm not doing anything. I'm just loading this leg and rotating on the heel. Loading this leg and rotating on the heel. I'm not using any other muscle group. I'm just isolating the muscles in around the leg in this initial rotation. Now what I'm doing from here, once I've actually got out and back, then now into the lancer, the bouncer with the lancer. Now this gives me the understand relaxing out again. So my bouncer is along that line. Up on my bum, this bone here. I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but about this idea about this bone here is known as the bouncer. This is my bouncer. It's not a wing. It's not a flappy arm. It's about knowledge of this bone here. So it's this bone going out. Straight out towards my opponent. So I'm out, it's out me, going straight out me, and I get out of the boundary area. So to me it's there, it's about coming out at this angle. It's not across here, and it's not over there. It's about this bone going straight. And then the arm being relaxed and down forward. So it's from Sulam turn, exactly the same. From here. So it's about this arm relating to my opponent's centre line. This is where I'm envisaging my opponent's centre line is directly in front of us. From here, this goes, my elbow travels straight out my inner gate, outer gate boundary. And when it comes back in the lancer, it comes back down that line. So it's this imaginary line, like a tram line, that this elbow is travelling out and travelling back, travelling out and travelling back. Now what I'm starting to do is I'm starting to link in this knowledge of turning off the heel, but now I'm also understanding the turning of the body and the turning of using the muscles of the stomach and the back that are used to rotate the body out, and now bring this back. So I'm looking at the energy going out, the movement going out, and the movement coming back. The movement going out, and the movement coming back. I was taught that this is a protection against if the bouncer is taken. The lancer, that is. So from here, if my bouncer is taken, I have my lancer, I have this knowledge of this energy coming back to bring it, to protect against it. In the first form protection of the elbow, the bomb, the elbow when it's away from the fixed elbow position, whether it's a fuchsia or a tansa, when it's away from this position, it's in a weak position, it's easily manipulated and controlled. In the first form, we drop it back to the fixed elbow position. In Chum Kiu, we know that if it's taken, to use this lancer. But it's also at this time when we're actually looking at, again, what is new. Now we're investigating, we've already understood the muscles that are doing this rotation for the hips. Now what we're looking for is an understanding of this rotation of energy, so using also the stomach and the back. So we're looking at the energy that's going to understand movement coming out and the movement coming back. So from the outer gate boundary, I understand going towards my opponent. If my elbow, if my bounce is threatened, I go back down this line. From my outer gate boundary, I understand going out towards my opponent. If it's threatened, it's coming straight back. So it's about that direction, and I'm understanding. Again, I always try with Chum Kiu, rather than only phones, is what I call have an intent. Now, if I'm standing here in front of this and I form my stance, I'm looking to the far wall and I can see a spot, and that's the one spot that I always look at. When I turn, I've got one spot that I look at. If I turn, I've got one spot that I look at. So it's my attention is only ever in three places throughout Chum Kiu. I'm not looking down at my feet, I'm not looking at the corner of the room, I'm not going anywhere else, I'm going there. My attention is there, this is where my body is. A lot of people make a mistake, but I feel it's a mistake. Is that the bomb cell tends to go here. So although somebody's eyes are looking in that direction, because the head is in this direction, the body goes in this direction. Even though the eyes are in that direction. To me, everything should be in that direction. I'm trying to focus, I'm trying to create a precision in the form. That's why I talk about right angles, verticals, 90 degrees, 180 degrees. It's because if I can get you to understand something that is obvious. So if I say to you that I'm square to you, and this line of box is perpendicular to my stance coming out here, so this line, that's where this comes in. So if I say that this is at right angles to me, you can see that that's not. You can see that that's not. So if I say that this is going out towards my opponent, it's not there. I am not turning to there and going across to here. I'm not turning over there. I'm not turning my bouncer. My bouncer goes out towards my virtual opponent. I'm not thinking about stepping away on the outside of my, which would be more realistic, and if I was practicing with somebody, I would be more, my bouncer would be pointing at the person's centre line. This is Chum Kiu, this is the form, this is a virtual, this is abstract. So what we need to have is for an example for us to be in control of ourselves. For me to say, this is right, I am doing this because this I feel is correct. And so if we're looking at this position when it's out, so I'm looking at here, so it's not there, and it's not there, it's there. My definition is about this being horizontal and straight out my inner gate, outer gate boundary area. So from Sunam Tower, that's where my bouncer is. So in Chum Kiu, that's where my bomb cell is. With a Musa. When I bring it back to the Lancer, again, it just comes straight back down again. This is horizontal, so it's not this way, it's not that way. Again, it's not there. Again, we're looking at a fixed shoulder position. We're now coming to a fixed shoulder. When I relax it out, it's the bong that's important. When I bring it back, it's the strong shoulder position that's important. So this is the position of the Lancer. This is the height of a bong cell. They're two totally different things. I'm not going to try to hold the bong cell when this is relaxed and out, because it's about understanding this bone. If the elbow is threatened, I need to bring it back, and so I'm coming into where my shoulder would be in a fixed elbow position. So it's a strong structure where the shoulder is right, sort of brought into its fixed, its strongest position, where it would be for when you're lifting. So it's this position where the shoulder is, that gives you your height here, which is around about nipple height as far as your chest is concerned. It doesn't want to be up here, it doesn't want to be too low, it's about being here. So from there through to there. I bring the tan up, so I'm coming from, again, my outer gate boundary to understand my centre line aimed at my opponent. Protect. So I'm looking at going out, and now understanding the muscles that are bringing this back. So I'm going out and back, out and back. So this is a feeling that I've got of understanding, along with the legs now. I've now got the stomach and the back, it's actually developing energies going out and back. So now we've got this whole area where we've got a punch and what would be in this position, a lap. So a punch and a lap, a punch and a lap. So you can start playing with this as an exercise about feeling the energy coming back down the line, going out the line, from the heel back, from the heel out, from the heel back, from the heel out. So what am I doing with this part? Relax out, the dings out. Now the tuck and juts out. To me, when I do this, this is where it's up and down the centre line. I know I see the Yip Man film, he's doing this. Unfortunately, I never had the chance to meet him, and I only started in 1974, he died in 1972, so it's not my problem, not my fault. But again, it's something that, to me, I don't know what was in his head, I know how I define it. And to me, what we're looking at is an understanding of opposite energy. Okay, so what we're looking at in this first surge, so we're talking about the turning aspects of the hip, also of the upper body and the bomb cell and the hand cell. So this initial stage is when we've turned out the ding cell, we're cancelling out. This, to me, is an extension or a continuation of this from Sulam Tel, where we're starting to use two hands individually up and down the centre line. Now what we're looking at is understanding the jut and the tuck, the jut and the tuck. They're just coming to contact together. I remember when I first started, it was almost this, when people were doing this, when we were talking, it was like, so you're slapping yourself. What are you slapping your arms for? It serves no purpose, unless you're like giving yourself pain. All you're really doing, to me, it's out, it's there. Jut top, 1, 2, 3. Now palms straight, 1, 2, 3. And out from here, then we're into the turn. Now the important part here is that actually learn to use both two energies, opposite energies, at the same time. There is variations where you can actually make it. I see people using a lot more movement into it. That's not a problem. Again, but I try with my forms, especially the forms, I try to keep them pure, them simple. What is it new that we're trying to understand? What is it new that we need to isolate? And it's this isolation that's the important part. To isolate the movements, the muscle groups, so we can focus purely on what is new that we're trying to learn. So to me, from here and out and back, we're looking at this understanding of the jut and the top step. This sequence here, we've got the ding cell. So the ding cell, if we're going back to what I mentioned earlier on, we've got the ding cell. This is almost say like a man cell, we're finding, the man cell is an asking, the ding cell is asking almost the same way. So we're asking out. From this position now we're looking at is control, and then from control we're into striking. So find, control, strike. So this is a theme, as I said, that my view is a continual theme that runs after Chum Kiu through UG and also in the dummy. We'll have this, I'll cover this more in the dummy later, but a little example is it's in every training. So you're using the guard cells like an energy technique, so you're fang, control, and swing. In UG we have the man out fang, and then we have UGs which are more like controlling, they're not finishing, but it's your elbow that's your finishing technique. So we've got fang, control, and finish. So if we try to keep this idea that we have like a little bit of a fighting theory, it's simple and continuous through all the forms. But to me this is what this is about. Out, back. This is what we're looking at. From here, I've discussed the turning. But the last part, which I always feel is important, but most people have lost it. From this position, from here we're going out, from here, from there, turns out, back. On the land side, the turns out comes up to the bounce out, and then back, and again. But the last one comes up as a fist. To me, this is what you do. This drops to a turn, then punches up, we carry on. And then, so this is an important part. Most people have lost that. To me it's an important part because the way I was taught it, and I quite like it, I understand it, is if somebody's got a hold of your arm and it's that strong where you can't do the bounce out, just drop the elbow. And this is quite a strong technique that will give you, that will break somebody's grip on your arm. So later on we'll talk about another defence in UG, but it's this: if somebody's strong on your arm, drop it, and then you're striking out. So from here, drop it, then it comes out. I use this as again abuse out, like from first form to abuse out, not facts out. From here I do a defensive jam out. So it goes out, here, back to me defensive jam out from the opening, from the first third of Sulam Tell. I do that. Because to me what we're looking at now is changing centre lines. We're changing from all the way through, in this position I'm going through 180 degrees, back through to 90. What this means is that I haven't got eye contact. If I've gone across to this position, or if my attention's gone across to here, I can't actually see what's here. I can use my peripheral vision. So if I see something coming, I don't know what it is, so I need to have a defensive jam set. That's why this hand comes across, so it's covering, strikes to my head and down to my elbow area. So I'm covering the whole of my upper and I get area. This way, and then stopping here. So it's just back to centre line. And then from here, tan comes up and using the tan view to clear the centre line. So, punch comes out, abuser, defensive jamster, tan view to clear the centre line. So it's always thinking about changing centre lines, protecting centre lines, and returning square to your centre line. So you can use both hands. Okay, just to sort of wrap up my way of thinking about what the first third of Chum Kiu is doing for you. It's your introduction to utilising the whole body together. It's understanding both arms, both legs being used differently at the same time. It's understanding this area of the ding cell, the feint, the asking out. We're looking for this idea of the ding cell, the tan cell, whether it's a ding cell, full cell, tan cell, whichever, if you want to look at the understanding of what the seeds of Wing Chun is, there's the Fu Sao, Tan Sao, Bong Sao. So we've looked at this idea that from here we're feeling out with the Ding Sao. If you've made contact, whether you've made the contact with the Fu Sao or a Tan Sao, looking to control a hand, Tok Sao, Jut Sao, Jut, Tok, Jut, Tok, Jut, Tok, and then palm strike. We're looking at changing centre length, trying to maintain this idea of 90 degrees or 180 degrees. We're looking about this understanding of the ball turning from the heel, using the legs, and the rotation still around the heel, but using the top part of the body. So using your stomach and your back. So then it becomes a whole understanding of the body, the turning, the Hunma. So you're developing these muscles together. I prefer to isolate them from the first part and then understand them separately and then later putting them all together. So what we're looking at is this idea of this Hunma, this turning energy, the sequence of feint, control and strike. So there's quite a lot. But there's not that many new moves in the form. So this is where, but it's difficult because you have to learn to use the whole body in coordination. And you need to understand the arms separately, the legs separately, the whole body separately. So but they work together. They're individuals that work together. They are not just clamped and without thinking. So this is where the first third really sort of builds around this understanding of feint, control, finish, and the Hunma, turning power, turning energy. The muscles that you're using to turn the hips and the shoulder and the back. When we look at the second section, again, there's not a lot in it, but there is. What we're looking at to start off with turning, we're really looking at this, again, the lat, using a grab and pull it to a lance out. Now from here, this is the lifting kick. Some people say it doesn't exist. I'm a firm believer in this understanding, because what we're doing here is we're understanding this energy. The energy is not just in lifting the leg, it's coming up off the floor. It's the back leg that's lifting the front leg up. So it's this lifting energy here. So what we're doing is lifting up off the floor. It's lifting up off the floor. This gives a benefit to if I'm stationary and I kick, the reactant energy goes down into the floor. If I kick while I was stationary, the reactant energy would send me away. This is why it's in the last part we understand the kick. You might say, well, why is this introduced first? Because to me, most people know how to kick. What most people haven't got is this knowledge of this leg. This is the whole problem. This is what we're dealing with in the last third as well. Is the problem with the one that we can see. By most people seeing just kick with this foot. What you need to do to learn to develop this energy is to just isolate this muscle group. So what we're looking at with this lifting kick, it lifts the leg up. So from here, the knees are out, and I'm lifting my knee up. I'm lifting my knee up. I'm lifting my knee up off the floor. So it's this way. Once I've practiced, turn lancer, lift kick, bong with a wusa. again, it's going in that direction. What I'm practicing here is as soon as I make the decision to step, my bounce out comes up. I relax it down so I can practice this again. As soon as I make the decision to step, the bounce out comes up. So, again, it's something that we do 3 times. 3 times it's something a bit more of a principle. The principle that I'm looking for here is to get the timing. As soon as I make my decision to step, the arms are coming up. From here, once that's done, 1 bounce out, relax it down, 2 bounce outs, relax it down, 3 bounce outs. Out again, energy, return back to centre line, clear centre line. Lift, bounce out with a woo out, relax it down so I can practice bounce out and woo out immediately. Relax it down, practice bounce out and woo out. Out again, energy to the centre line, square off to the centre line, clear the centre line. The important point here is this. It is not that, and it is not that. We're trying to get a coordination of to do 2 things at the same time. As soon as I make the decision to step, the bounce out and the loose out comes out. Now, this extension, this understanding of the bounce out, we can take it a little step further and thinking that the bounce out is really a man cell. This is not so much of a big leap, because again, in BUG we started to introduce this idea that the bounce out is really a man cell, or a man cell is a bounce out extended. So what we need to do is an understanding of trying to achieve something that needs to be learned. And that is to do 2 things at the same time. Not to wait and then put a bounce over. In a fight situation, you would not step towards a person and then put your hand up. It's the same, it's a fool who puts their hand out and then moves towards the person. You want to be doing this together. And this is what we're practicing here. As soon as I make the decision to step, this is what I'm practicing. So it's not that, and it's not that, it's that. So we're looking at getting the timing for this together. It's the awareness that as soon as I make the decision to step, my bounce down and woo out comes up. I'll relax it down. As soon as I make the decision to step, my bounce down and woo out comes up. Now from here, I use the outer gate energy in this position. So I'm coming from this position across to here, to my centre line. From there, go back to a defensive jam cell, back to my centre line, and then clear the centre line. So to me, the second third teaches you something about this lifting kick energy, which actually does appear also in BUG, but as a punch. But mainly this idea of the first part of a step. So from this point here, when I'm in a classic position, as soon as I make the decision to step, I can't from here, if all my weight's on my back leg, all my rear leg can do is go straight up. My body needs to fall into a position where the weight is in front of me here, so I can then drive forward. And so it's the time that it takes the body to get from here to here, where I can drive, this falling phase of a step, that I need to understand, that I need to be aware of, that I need to think of when from here, as I'm falling, get my arms up. As I'm falling, get my arms up. So you need to cover yourself in the falling phase. So this is the part of where when you're moving in, when you're bridging the gap to your opponent, as you're moving in, your hand wants to be coming up. You don't just step in unguarded. But until I can move, until the time that it takes to get my body in a position where I can drive, my hand can be there. So to me, this is the important aspect of what we're looking at. So we've got this idea of the falling phase of a step. The last section we're looking at in the last section is essentially the drive. So we've talked about in the last section, the second section, this fall and fist. So my body has to fall into a place where I can now drive using the back leg. And this is the important part, that I can drive with the back leg. So I've got this big muscle group here that I'm learning to fall into a position so I can drive with it before my foot lands and then recover. So it's fall, drive, land and recover. 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 So it's this driving aspect of it. I see so many people, when you see them doing techniques, do this skippy step. They're like the hop. They go from heel to toe. And they're coming off the toe to step and they land on the heel, and it's all natural. It's not. You want a flat foot and a flat foot. To fall, to drive, land, and then recover. So it's this whole understanding of what you're doing and what you're trying to achieve it for. When we actually learn to be in a position, this is the position I want to be in. Before my foot lands, I want the structure so I can drive from the heel into my opponent. Then the foot comes down, then I recover my stance. Taking on from the the second third. This action is the same as this action. In that, as soon as I made a decision to step, to move, and I'm falling, I form the structure that I use here, that people call like the low bouncer. Personally, I feel it's more of a lancer, it's the way I use it more this way, rather than a bouncer. Because it would be used this way. Because I found I used this a lot in G7. When I was controlling people, I was using this arm in this position to control both arms to allow the hand to come through. So it doesn't make any difference which leg. I pin two arms with one arm and use this to come over. So that's why I do this. From here, I just rotate. Form this structure as I'm falling. So from here all the way to my back leg. As I fall, I form the structure. I drive, then I land, and then recover. And then set it again so I can practice again. Fall, land, drive. So it's this, again, we're going through this procedure of falling, driving, land, and recover. Practice again. Fall, drive, land, and recover. This is just a structure. So see, I use this structure because I don't like this movement. And what I say a lot is that when people do this, people tend to do that. Because what happens is, they go from here to there, their brain through the eyes sees the fingers pointing down, the arms pointing down to that foot. So what becomes important to the brain is this foot. So they end up everything being pointing at that, pointing at that. So it's this. What I prefer to try to teach is an understanding of driving off the back heel, driving off the back heel, driving off the back heel. In this position I'm using this, because what I'm trying to do is, I'm not interested in the arms. This could be a punch, could be anything. It could be a gun. It can be anything that I'm using energy from the floor through my body into the arms. The important thing that I'm learning to do is use this leg that I can't see to become aware of. So I fall into a position where I can explode this energy. I call them twitch energies, but it's this explosive nature of coming off the heel. This explosive strength coming off the heel. And this is what we're really trying to develop here. You can practice it, forget the arms. The arms become a distraction. Understand that you have to fall, then you can drive, then you land, and then you recover. I fall, I drive, I land, and recover. So this, we understand the falling phase and the driving phase. When we looked before about the turning punch, there's another phase that's actually that we already have that can be used in turning punch. I have a falling phase, a rotating phase, and a driving phase. So I fall, land, rotate, and drive. Fall, land, rotate, and drive. So now we're looking at all three sections coming together. So the falling phase, second, third. Holding on the rotating phase, first, third. Driving phase, last, third. So it's this whole 2, 1, 3. 2, 1, 3. So we're actually looking at how to investigate our body. This way covers this whole feeling of trying to get the whole body together. And this is what we're looking at, trying to get the whole body together in Chum Kiu. The very last part, I use this to finish off. Now I prefer this idea. What I'm doing is from this position, once I've gone to there, it's a protection from the outer gate boundary to my centre line. It's almost like a double defensive jam set. Or hunsa, would like to call it, whatever. I'm circling hand in this position. But I come out to here, then circle back. Outer gate boundary, centre line. Coming back, I do this. I like this action rather than the simplified version because this, again, is a useful, if anybody does grab, it's a useful disarmament. If somebody's got a hold of the grab, it gets you out of the grab. It's a simple but effective tool to get away from a grab. The next difference, the way that I do it, the way most people do the second form, from here, do the drive, hand, circle back to the centre line, out and back. When to turn around, I place my foot behind me into this position. So this is actually quite a big. I placed this in the form because for me, I find it very useful. Because as an understanding, if I'm here and I don't have time or space to fall to get a structure off the back leg, what I can do is place my back leg into a stance that I can then drive off. So what I'm doing here is I'm placing my leg behind me to form a stance in that direction. Now rotate, now I can go back in the rest of the form. Now from the end part, again, I do I'm looking for something specific. I'm looking for an exercise from here. When I was first taught this, I was told, move your feet a little bit and turn and kick all the way around. Now, to me, move your feet a little bit is not a very precise direction. So what I did is I worked backwards. I knew I wanted to be end here. So I do the kick, and back. So this is where I want this foot to be. So what I do is, from here, place my right foot where it will stay. So it's my right foot that's the actual important point. So I place my right foot in its stance, that stays, I turn and kick, and I land my stance with a gomsa and wusa. Turn, kick, and down. What I'm looking to develop here is the flexibility to open up and kick as far as I can around with a stamping front kick. So I'm trying to get my hips open enough and kick and then down. So kick and then down and then land in a good stance. So I'm looking to turn around, kick and then land with the gong sound and wusa. Now the next point is what I'm doing here is I shift, I load this leg without turning. Now I turn from here, everything turns together. One, everything turns together. When I square up, the gong sound comes up as a straight arm, relaxes and punches. 1, 2, 3 to finish. So again, but this is, again, I feel is important because what you're starting to do with this, right at the end of the form, this could be this. It could be anything. What we're looking at is coordinating turning power from the legs, hips, body, shoulder, arms. But what you need to do is you need to move to here. There's no point starting to turn, otherwise you end up doing that. So you see, most people tend to do, this is the gong sound. Rather than move the weight this way without moving the body, and then you've got this turning energy of the body. This is a turning energy. So you step without turning your upper body, then you turn. Without turning, then turn. Load the leg, then turn. Load the leg, then turn. Load the leg, then turn. If you notice from here, this is pointing towards my centre line. It just goes from shoulder, elbow, wrist to my centre line. So my wusa, when I move this way, again, this is going in a straight line. If I turn slightly, I am no longer pointing at my centre line, so therefore the wrist has to come out this way. So the energy is more this way, using the tricep rather than the whole shoulder unit, rather than the whole body energy being behind and driving all the joints in the same direction. And all I'm doing here is relaxing and tensing. Then finishing off that way. So this it just completes like the form of way of understanding what we're trying to achieve with Chum Kiu. Bringing the whole body together, understanding energies, directions of energies, looking at what you're trying to visualize, what you're trying to get out from the form. There's a lot in the form, but there's nothing that new in the form. But there's a lot to get you to think about, and there's a lot of coordination of the whole body together.